Hey guys, this is Rok-C, and we'll soon head over to the main roster and take over the join as a Gen Z woman carrying the company, Retronic Ice Cat. You know what the fuck to do. Word up.
Yeah, that's right. You know what the fuck to do. So this is Retronic Ice Cat on the Real News Talk channel. Yeah, again, you know the deal. So, Rok-C, her WWE main roster call-up, is on the rise as soon as she loses the NXT Women's title to either Jordan Grace or it could be the sexy Latina ass kicker, Lola Vice, who's going to be facing Shayna Baszler in an NXT underground match, UFC MMA style. That's going to be an interesting one because Lola Vice, she's the future. She's the future of NXT and she's going to be the main attraction on NXT once Rok-C transitions over to the main roster. And I could see her feuding with Rok-C after her feud with Shayna Baszler. I can see her going after the NXT women's title because she did state that as well. That once she's done with Shayna Baszler, she's going to be gunning for Rok-C and her NXT women's title because those two have some unfinished business. You know what I mean? Because when she cashed in her NXT breakout contract, right, when she interrupted Rok-C and Lara Valkyria in their one-on-one match for the NXT women's title, when Lara Valkyria was champion at the time, she cashed it in, turning the match into a triple threat. But unfortunately, she was unsuccessful. She didn't capture the belt, and that breakout contract went to waste. So I think they're gonna try and make up for her losing the breakout contract and hand her the NXT Women's Championship. Because that's what's going to happen eventually. Because I can't really see Jordan Grace defeating Rok-C. I mean, she'll give her a fight. She'll give her a good beating, no doubt about it. And she'll come close to beating Rok-C. But I doubt that she's going to win and defeat Rok-C. I'll be surprised if she does. Because she'll be the first female wrestler from another company to win a title from WWE and take it over to the other promotion. That would be history in the making. If that were to happen, I'll be surprised, you know? But most likely, she will lose and Rok-C will retain the belt and she'll keep the belt for a little bit longer. And she might hold the belt for another 2-3 months until summer, you know, maybe around SummerSlam time when NXT have their next pay-per-view, or maybe at the Great American Bash. Who knows? But in the next few months, I can see her dropping the belt to Lola Vice because she's the only one that has the credibility of defeating Rok-C for the NXT Women's title, rightfully so. So they're going to put the belt on Lola Vice and make her become the top girl on NXT. You know? Because she's got star written all over her. Star quality. And she's very talented as well. And her mic skills, she's improved on the mic a lot. And she proved herself over the last few months. Over the last year, I must say. She's proven herself that she can go. Not only can she talk, but she can kick ass too. And shake that big booty of hers. You know what I mean? So she's got the total package. She's an all-rounder. She can be cute, but at the same time, she can be nasty in the ring. You know? And her match with Shayna Baszler is going to be off the chart. It's going to be one hell of a fight. You know what I mean? Even though Shayna Baszler has more experience, because she's been doing it a lot longer, but at the same time, Lola Vice is a lot younger and she's more hungrier. So I believe that Shayna Baszler is going to put over Lola Vice at NXT Battleground tomorrow. You know? It's going to be a close fight, but I could see Lola Vice winning somehow. You know? Because even though Valerie Loretto, she had a few fights in the MMA octagon and only lost once. And Shayna Baszler, she's been in the MMA world for quite some time, but her losing streak is pretty high. She's lost so many fights in the UFC, you know, including Amanda Nunes getting knocked out by her. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens at Battleground between Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler when they have their match in the NXT Underground style MMA fight. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. As for Rok-C and Jordynne Grace, it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a really, really good fight. I think this will be Rok-C's best match since she had that classic match with Deonna Purrazzo a couple of years back when she was on Impact, when she made a one-off appearance, you know? In fact, yeah, she appeared twice. The first time she appeared was when she was the ROH Women's Champion in the crowd. And the second time, she faced Deonna Purrazzo, but she lost to Deonna Purrazzo. You know what I mean? So, Rok-C's going to be in one hell of a fight. But this time, I could see Rok-C retaining the NXT Women's title. Unless they surprise us and throw us off guard. You know? Because anything can happen in the world of pro wrestling. Anything goes. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of unpredictability. Even though there's a lot of predictability, but there's also a lot of unpredictability because they're very good at swerving things. They're very good at making you think something's gonna happen and then a next thing happens instead. So you just never know when it comes to wrestling in general what they can do or what they have on their sleeve. So let's just wait and see what happens. But yeah, let me get into the article anyway. Rok-C has been the NXT Women's Champion for quite a while now, and she has consistently defended her title no matter what. With that said, her main roster call-up status has been revealed. WWE NXT Battleground event will take place on June 9th, which is tomorrow, from UFC Apex in Las Vegas, and there is a considerable amount of hype for the premium live event. Perez is set to defend the NXT Women's Championship against Jordynne Grace. During a Q&A podcast on Fightful Select, Corey Brennan was asked about Rok-C being called up to the main roster. He noted that she will be called up as soon as she drops the NXT Women's Championship. Rightfully so, because I said that in my previous video when she won the NXT Women's title for the second time by defeating Lara Valkyria. Hence why Lara Valkyria went to the main roster instead. But I thought that they were going to send Rok-C to the main roster as well and make her do double duty. But that didn't happen. So they went a different route. This is what the person said. I think to go to the main roster as soon as she does lose the NXT Women's title. That's what I think, and I've heard that as well. I've heard back before Stand and Deliver that if she did win, she wouldn't be called up to the main roster until she lost it at the very minimum. We will have to wait and see when Rok-C will ultimately get called up to the main roster, as she will definitely find success no matter where she goes. You're damn right she will find success because she's got star quality written all over her, just like Lola Vice. But Rok-C, when she goes to the main roster, she's going to kill it. Trust me, because she's had a couple of matches on the main roster as well. The first time she wrestled on the main roster was on SmackDown when she teamed up with Raquel Gonzalez. to take on Damage Control, I believe. And then the second time she had her match was a one-on-one match on Raw against Indy Hartwell. So she can go. And she's been in the Royal Rumble twice. So, yeah. A lot has been promised for Rok-C. And she's going to be a future women's champion on the main roster too, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. You know what I mean? She's like the next AJ Lee. You know what I mean? She's going to get that AJ Lee like push. So, yeah. Do you feel Rok-C will be successful on the main roster? Yep. Sound off in the comments section below. She is going to be successful because someone has to step up, you know. The early Gen Z women are on the rise right now as we speak. Tiffany Stratton and Lara Valkyria, even though Lara Valkyria is barely millennial and she's so close to Gen Z. I'd even throw in there too, you know, because the millennials, you know, my generation, you know, like Bailey, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Charlotte, those girls, they're in their prime right now, but at the same time, they're not going to be there forever. I mean, Becky Lynch, she recently departed from the WWE. She's taking a break from wrestling. But when she comes back to wrestling, it's not going to be in the WWE. It's going to be in AEW. Everybody say that, oh, when she comes back to wrestling, she's going to go back to the WWE. That's what you believe because you're used to seeing her there. And you don't want her to go anywhere else. You want her to be handcuffed like Mercedes Moné. You know? You don't want to see competition. And then you complain when the product gets stale. When you see the same old bullshit matches every single time. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You understand what I'm saying? That's your opinion. If you believe that she's going to come back, fine. At the end of the day, I believe that she's not. Because everybody said the same thing about Mercedes Moné last year. And look what happened earlier this year. She signed with AEW and now she's doing well for herself. And she seems a lot more happier now. You know, because your health is your fucking wealth. But you guys don't seem to give a fuck because you care about your damn self. You know? Instead of having consideration. And letting things be the way that it is. You understand what I'm saying? You should be lucky that you're seeing them on TV at all. You know? But it's a shame that you can't comprehend that. And you can't see out of the box. And you just want to go with what everybody's saying. Because you don't want to be labeled as an outcast. Fuck that. You know? I didn't come in here to kiss ass or follow the crowd. Nah. When everybody goes left, I go right. That's me. I've always been that way. I've never been a follower. Ever. I have my own mind and I have my own way of thinking. Just like everybody else. You know? And I might not always be right. But at the same time, it turns out to be true in the end. Because I keep it real. I don't bullshit in my videos. I don't clickbait or anything like that. I don't be spreading false information. I keep it 100. I keep it as real as I can be. Even though I'm not always right with what I'm saying. I might make mistakes, but at the end of the day, who is perfect? Nobody's perfect. You know? So, that's that right there. As I was saying, my generation, they're in their prime right now, but in the next couple of years, they're going to be on the back burner. You know, they're going to be fading out slowly. You know, because if you think about it, in the mid-90s, Hogan, Nash, Scott Hall, they were heading out. They were barely in their prime. You know? And that's why they went to WCW. You know what I mean? to have one last good run in their prime. Because when they came back to WWE, they weren't really in their prime anymore. They weren't really in their prime like that. But in WCW, they had their last good run, forming the NWO. I believe that a stable, a powerful stable, a powerful female stable at that, could be on the verge in AEW in 2026, 2 years from now. By that time, it will be the 30th anniversary of the NWO. And I could see Pamela Rose, Mercedes Moné, and Rebecca Quinn forming a powerful group, female group, and take over the joint and make wrestling cool again. You know, because by then AEW, hopefully, they'll polish up and fix up. For real, for real. You know what I mean? Because I've heard, right? I've heard that apparently WWE and AEW could potentially work with each other and help each other grow. You know what I mean? There could potentially be like a Monday Night Wars again. Just like the 90s. So, who knows, man? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But people will be in denial. People think I'm chatting shit. But that's cool. Think what you want. I don't care. But I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you're entitled to yours. I believe that AEW and WWE are going to be feuding with each other. You know what I mean? Because like I said before in my previous video, AEW is like the modern day WCW, and TNA is like the modern day ECW. That's just the way that I see it. You know? Because the wrestling industry is changing. It's reforming. And it's getting better every single week. And if they keep that up, it's going to be great. It's going to be real, real great. But AEW just needs to kick up the butt in order to shine. And they have the capability of doing so. So, yeah. I just wanted to touch on this video in regards to Rok-C being called up to the main roster. And she's going to be a star on the main roster. She's going to kill it. You know what I mean? I like Rok-C. You know? And she's the future of the company. Just like Lola Vice is the future of NXT. And when she gets called up onto the main roster, Laura Willing, she's still in the company. She'll be killing it too. Just like the rest of the young female wrestlers on NXT right now. You know? Because they're going to be taking over once Bayley, Charlotte, and the rest of the millennial women, when they fade out, they have to step up and fill in the void. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. This is the Retro Kid, Retronic Ice Cat on the Real News Talk channel. Let me know what you think. Alright? Anyway, say no more. Peace.